My mom is the highest level of a failed parent. When I was 2, my baby brother, Mark, was born. As a typical 2-year-old, I didn't like that, and proceeded to act out in regards to it. As time went on, though, I learned from my grandfather and grandmother that treating someone like that wasn't a good idea, and then turned my act around to love and care for him and help out where I could. However, this didn't change much. My mother basically threw me away to be raised by my grandparents because I was a demonic hell spawn of a child. In her mind, her new child was latest greatest, and I was just old news. Let's time skip. My mother has now had her 4 kids, Mark and I with my dad, and Sam and Alicia with my stepfather. I'm about 13, Mark 11, Alicia is about 1.5, and Sam was just born. Mom and Dad are divorced. Mom married stepdad, and I am at the rebellious age now, where things don't make sense to me and I feel like I know everything, so my stepdad's idea is to beat it out of me. Every time I showed any sense of individuality or questioning something, I got beat for it. Sometimes right in front of my mother, and she didn't care a bit. This is where the trigger for me wanting my revenge started, but being 13 and sadly, a little on the mentally damaged side from all of the beatings, and having a bookcase full of books land on me, at around 11, I had no concept of what sort of revenge would come from my mind at the time, so I decided that waiting would be best. Mom's mistake 1 has been made. On top of that, my mother and stepdad refused to do any housework. Instead, waiting for the weekend when Grandma and Grandpa would leave to visit Grandma's mother and put us to work cleaning the house and doing stuff adults should be doing. Now, I get the concept of chores. Chores are fine. It's when you make your child climb ladders and get on the roof at the age of 11 to clean out gutters, or climb trees to snip branches and such, that it gets a bit too dangerous. This happened since I was about 10. Yes, I know, things are a little out of order. I'll keep on track. Time skip to when I'm 14. My mother told me and Mark to watch Alicia. She was 2 by this time. Stepdad wanted to play video games, and when we weren't being bad in his eyes, he'd let us watch. But we were never allowed to play without him there watching us. I pop up while I'm sitting there and ask, "Where is Alicia?" Full-blown panic mode. Go. Mark and I just up and go, scouring through the house. Stepdad goes to check my mom's room where she's sleeping with Sam, who she was up with all night. My dad was in the kitchen making himself something to eat while he was visiting, then freaked out and burnt his hand on the stovetop when everyone started freaking out, then started searching. Mark and I ran out back and looked around, saw nothing, didn't even think to check the pool. So we ran back inside and rummaged through the garage. Next thing we hear my mother screaming at the top of her lungs, and we rush outside to find Alicia on the deck not breathing, and my mother and stepdad trying to perform CPR on her. My father drags Mark and I away to go inside, and the ambulance is called. Needless to say, Alicia did not survive, and they pulled the plug on her that night. Mom's mistake, too, has been made. Mark and I were devastated. Being the teenager I was, and the preteen he was, we immediately blamed ourselves, and our grandparents assured us that it wasn't our fault or responsibility, and that we need to know this isn't on us. A week later, Child Protective Services got word and came, and my father, in his infinite wisdom, initiate a custody battle with my mother after this, claiming she wasn't capable of caring for her children, and won, temporarily. Needless to say, our grandparents believed we belongs with our mother and fought back. My mom ultimately won us back. Time skip. I'm 18 now. I'm an adult. I'm looking to graduate high school and make my mark on the world and get my life going. Mark was 15 now, had gotten into a fight and broke his finger. It had to be repaired with pins and screws, and was on some pretty hefty pain medicine. I don't remember the name. It was my mother's job to watch him and regulate his pain medicine so nothing bad would happen. Sadly, that bad thing did happen. Grandfather picked me up from school one day, and I could see he had a gloomy look on his face. We showed up to the house, and as we were walking up, I could see the paramedics rolling a stretcher with a body bag on it. Mark had died from a drug overdose at the age of 15 because my mother wasn't watching him like she should have been. That was the final straw. At that moment, my family was divided, my dad's side and my mother's side. My mother had my grandparents, who I was living with at the time, and my father had me and his family. I sided with my father completely, his argument being that had she been a better mother, Mark would still be alive. And what's worse, Sam.